Welcome to Spidell's California Minute. I'm your host, Catherine Zidane, and this week we're discussing California's middle-class tax refund eligibility and taxability. We cover these payments in detail in Spidell's federal and California tax update, and you can get signed up for a live webinar or in-person seminar at caltax.com. California is sending approximately $9.5 billion in middle-class tax refunds, ranging from $400 to $1,050 for married filing joint taxpayers and $200 to $700 for all other taxpayers, depending on their California AGI and whether they claim any dependent credits. Although these payments are referred to as tax refunds, the Welfare and Institutions Code specifically states that these payments are not refunds of personal income tax overpayments. That means the payments will not be reconciled on the California return. Middle-class tax refund payments are being issued through January 15, 2023 as direct deposit or via a debit card mailed to the taxpayer. The FTB is instructing taxpayers to check back after that date if they feel they qualify for the payment but never received one. Because taxpayers cannot reconcile these payments on their 2022 tax return, the only way to claim a payment that wasn't received is to contact the FTB directly. The FTB has provided specific contact information on their website. In a surprise to many tax professionals, the Franchise Tax Board recently announced that they'll be sending Forms 1099 miscellaneous for payments of $600 or more. This is important because the middle-class tax refund is excludable from California income but includable in federal income. California residents are not eligible for these payments if they didn't file their 2020 tax return by October 15, 2021, or February 15, 2022 for taxpayers without a Social Security number. These payments are not subject to withholding or levy for outstanding state tax liabilities or other outstanding state fees, penalties, or tolls. Eligible taxpayers have to have lived in California for 6 months or more of the 2020 tax year and have to be a California resident on the date the payment is issued, assuming they also meet the other eligibility requirements. The middle-class tax refund payment is issued per tax return, not per household. Two individuals in the same residence could both receive a payment individually, as long as they both qualify and didn't file a joint return together in 2020. Deceased individuals that did not use the single filing status or that claimed another person as a dependent on their 2020 tax return may qualify for the payment. If an individual is deceased on the day the payment was issued and they used the single filing status without a dependent, they're not eligible for the payment. Also, if a deceased single individual receives a payment, their estate is not entitled to keep it and it needs to be repaid to the FTB. But if a 2020 return was filed jointly and the spouse dies after the return was filed, we believe the surviving spouse would be entitled to the full refund available to married filing joint taxpayers because there's nothing in the law that makes the spouse ineligible for payment in this scenario. Individuals who were eligible to be claimed as a dependent in 2020 don't qualify for the middle-class tax refund payment. For example, if a child filed a return and received a middle-class tax refund, but the parents claimed or could have claimed the child as a dependent, the child's payment will have to be returned to the FTB. The FTB has provided specific directions on their website for how middle-class tax refund payments should be returned, depending on whether the taxpayer received the payment as a direct deposit or as a debit card. If the erroneous payment isn't returned, the FTB will send the taxpayer a bill. You can stay up to date with California tax news with a subscription to Spidell's California Tax Letter. Check out subscription benefits and download a sample issue at caltax.com under the Publications tab. That's all for this week. Join us next time for another episode of Spidell's California Minute.